Lights have extinguished around the Motor Mile Speedway, and the Solid Rock Carriers pace car will dive to the safety of pit lane. On the front row, Carson Kvapil and Connor Hall lead the field down. Matthew Thornbush going to give him the green flag. And here we go. The Fluid Logic 225 presented by Food Country USA for late model stock cars is green. Lap number 1, now lap number 2 to Connor Hall as Carson Kvapil falls back to second. And look at Deke McCaskill. He just about had them both jacked up down the front stretch. Deke McCaskill is going places. I'm not seeing Deke this racy early in a race in quite some time. That top side, it's still here at Motor Mile. Deke is working it hard, trying to take over second. And behind him, Kyle Dudley now moves into fourth, getting by Mike Looney.
See Deke trying to clear Carson here. Carson's not going to give it up that easily, though. As you see Dudley still trying to clear Looney. He'll clear and maintain that fourth position.
Yeah, Deke McCaskill knows something about the top side of this racetrack that many apparently do not. McCaskill rocketing towards the front. Now alongside of Connor Hall for the race lead. They draw even into turn number 3. And Deke McCaskill, holy cow, where has this Deke McCaskill been? He will lead lap number 8. McCaskill to the front by half a car length and maybe more off the exit of turn 2. But boys, watch out. That 4 of Kyle Dudley, that 4 car is coming right there. And he's making it work on the flatter part of the racetrack. Kyle Dudley right now has got this thing dialed in on the early laps.
Well, Dudley runs here every week, so you know he has about 10,000 more laps around this place than anybody else in the field. Dudley now trying to get around Hall, but Deke, look at Deke trying to get out to a fairly sizable early lead here.
Well, I mean, if I saw Kyle Dudley coming, I'd try to scamper away too. I mean, come on. Oh boy, Connor Hall, Carson Kvapil. And guys, I'm starting to see a little bit of color in those wheels. We talked about brakes at Ace a couple of weeks ago. I think brakes might be a story here from what we're seeing already on these two. Getting a report from one of our spotters that I believe the 4 of Kyle Dudley, the car may be sounding a little off pitch. Might be sounding a little flat, maybe something going awry in that car. James Pike, do you have more on the situation with Kyle Dudley?
That's exactly what I was hearing. As he comes past me on the front straightaway, almost sounds like maybe that Kyle Dudley might be down a cylinder, so that's something we'll have to watch for over the course of this race. But it definitely doesn't sound like that sort of high-pitched rev that we normally hear from these late model stock cars.
And it may have just finally given up the ghost.
Jinxed him.
Looks like Kyle Dudley's night is now no longer hampered. It might be over. And KADEN HONEYCUTT is in. HONEYCUTT had charged forward, and now he kind of stagnated in the 11th spot, but the crew is just tending to the right front of that car. So Pike's got to make his way back around there to turn number 4 to figure out what's up with the KADEN HONEYCUTT car. But Deke McCaskill has chosen the outside through the KRC power steering restart zone. And McCaskill leads them off into turn number 1. Big slide off turn 2 for Connor Hall. It's going to allow Mike Looney to get to the outside of him. Look at Carter Langley there as well. Carson Kvapil losing spots. So big chance here on the restart. Mike Looney now moves up to the runner-up spot. Connor Hall falls to 3rd. And it's a whole new race up front with Mike Looney chasing you down. They nearly collided into the concrete off turn number 4. Connor Hall's not giving him a lot of room. He's giving him just enough. But now Carter Langley moves to 3rd around Connor Hall. See if he can hold that spot. But new 3rd place runner, Carter Langley, now on to what would be a podium finish if he were to run where he is now. If you're an Andrew Grady fan, he just pulled to the bottom outside turn number 2, and that car may come to a stop on the back straightaway if it cannot make it back to the pit lane. And looks like that car may have lost fire, and if it did, that may bring out a yellow flag if he cannot get it to turn to the left right there. And there it is. Caution is out for Andrew Grady, stalled number 91 over in turn number 3. And Mr. Grady did not pay attention in the driver's meeting. That is a 2-lap penalty. I'm sorry, that is a 1-lap penalty. Stopped on the racetrack, suddenly fired back up with no issues. And per Danny Wheeler in the driver's meeting, that is a 1-lap penalty for stopping on the racetrack. He must. 50 laps are completed. 75 laps remain through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone. Deke McCaskill just left Mike Looney. Wow. You don't see Mike Looney get schooled that hard on restarts very often. And give a big call to Brandon Pierce. That black, white, and red number 2 car started in the 20th spot. And we said if there's a car you're not worried about at Motor Mile, it's a Lee Pulliam performance ride. Enter Brandon Pierce, 55, 56 laps into the race, inside the top 10, running 9th and trying to claim 8th now from from the 32 of Zach Miracle. Carson Kvapil, the 77 of Connor Hall. This again the fight for 3rd off turn number 2.
Kvapil just trying to get the power down, but Hall is just too strong on that outside. As you see, rotors glowing on that 77 machine. Carson still, though, hanging on. As McCaskill and Looney's gap has started to stabilize a little bit, Looney was catching him a little bit, but now it's just...
Contact down the backstretch. Brandon Pierce is on pit lane, and he is going to nose it into the trailer. A fantastic run gone awry for Brandon Pierce. Oh, heartbreak. He cannot catch a break. Look off turn 2, Carson Kvapil and Connor Hall getting into it. Holy cow, the action does not stop. Oh, big problems, turn 4. Chase Burrow is around. And the 10 of Jansen Marchbanks. I don't think they made contact with the inside wall, but looking at Marchbanks' right side door, they may have made contact with one another.
Brandon, what ultimately put you out at tonight's event?
Right there. We, this ain't come alive, man. We were going to put a show on for these fans. I'm telling you right now, it may seem cocky to some, but I don't really give a damn. We were going to run 5th at worst. I mean, this thing was hauling balls. I moved up there, and we picked up about a 10th and a half. And I went back to the gas right here at the line in 3 and 4, and I think it broke a rocker. So, man, I'm upset, but I can't help but almost laugh. It's just kind of how our years went.
The Solid Rock Carriers pace car again escapes the racing surface and through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone. Deke McCaskill once again dynamite behind him. As look at this, Mike Looney nearly in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich down the backstretch.
See Connor Hall looking to the outside of Looney now. That could have been real ugly. Here comes Hall, though, on the outside, trying to mount a charge here. And here comes Connor Jones in the 44.
So bad, he'll tell you it's so hard to go to victory lane in these races. This now the fight for 6th on the screen. Yes, 6th. KADEN HONEYCUTT, who was on pit lane earlier, back up in 6th. Connor Hall trying to take it back away. Connor Jones trying to take it back away from him. This right now, the first side-by-side battle on track. If you're a Chase Burrow fan, his car is slow over in turn number 3 and now has come to a stop. So it looks like whatever his issue was, well, he too now going to be the recipient of a 1-lap penalty for intentionally bringing out a caution. 37 laps remain in the Fluid Logic 225 presented by Food Country USA. Green flag is out, and Deke McCaskill once again schools them through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone.
See Connor Hall trying to enter the picture now. Looney going to have to deal with Hall as McCaskill going to try to drive away once again.
Yeah, Connor Hall, I don't know if he got onto what Deke McCaskill was doing or what, but he is now rocketed forward, trying to take over second away from Mike Looney. And look at this, Kvapil 3 wide down the back straightaway. He taps the brakes, thinks better of it. Looney now side by side with Connor Hall again. This all for the runner-up spot. He got around his teammate Bobby McCarty. Hall now has second all to himself. Kvapil 3 wide behind him. Hefner, Jones, Mason, Diaz, watch out.
Now Looney trying to get in line, trying to stop the bleeding here.
Caution, turn 4. Mason Diaz has come to a stop and intentionally brought out a caution, and he now will receive a 1-lap penalty. So he and Connor Hall will lead the field down, and this time, Deke McCaskill did not get away as he has on previous restarts. He has got his hands full now with Connor Hall.
Connor trying to get that lead away. Looney still trying to stay in the picture. McCaskill trying to make that outside work as he has all race long. McCaskill going to clear.
Or will he? Up the hill in turn 2 goes McCaskill, and here comes Kvapil nearly sliding into the outside wall. Well, in Pike right now, the strategy might be get off the guy behind you's front bumper. Connor Hall, Carson Kvapil leaning on each other. 3 wide down the front straightaway briefly. Kvapil moves to second. Connor Hall is stuck on the outside as Mike Looney trying to steal that spot away. Be still my heart. Holy cow. Meanwhile, further back, this is the fight for 6th. KADEN HONEYCUTT has it. Jacob Hefner wants it.
Hefner, another one that's just been quiet all race long, now making a late charge.
And just ahead of them, Connor Hall and Mike Looney. 2 laps to go for the driver out of Raleigh, North Carolina. It has been nearly a year since Deke McCaskill visited Victory Lane. It was a $10,000 win at his home racetrack at Wake County Speedway. Tonight, Deke McCaskill sees the white flag from Brandon Willard. He is 1 lap away from yet another Cars Late Model Stock Tour win. Into turns 3 and 4, and Deke McCaskill will emerge the winner of the Fluid Logic 225 presented by Boot Country USA for the Solid Rock Carriers Late Model Stock Tour. We will go talk to Deke McCaskill here at Motor Mile in Edelbrock Victory Lane as you see the team and the family all happy. KADEN HONEYCUTT issues after the flag, finishing. The fist pump come out of that race car. Deke McCaskill. Deke McCaskill wins here at Motor Mile on the Fluid Logic 225. He'll come around. There's John West, his engine builder. He'll get the cold water bath, the hugs from the daughter, and the other one. Deke, fresh t-shirts, family all here. The fist bumps.
Sorry. I got a big group.
You got a big group. There's a lot of emotion, I know, for you to be here. The last couple times we've seen this, when you're good, you're good. What was the key to getting here in Edelbrock Victory Lane tonight?
Oh gosh, man, we were terrible yesterday and just went back to the hotel room and just can't thank Kevin, Hunter, Charles, man. We just all come together and I mean, we just come up with a setup this morning and put under it. I mean, no jokes, man. Just front springs, bump stops, rear springs, and just was hoping it would work. And then first thing off the trailer this morning, it just drove really good, man. I knew we had a pretty good piece, but I didn't know we had a winning car. We made a mock run and put a pretty good time there. But what a night, man. This thing was so dominant. This is Looney's house. I knew he was coming. I still had the outside in my back pocket. I knew I could work that really good, but the car was still really good on the bottom, and I could fire off really strong on restarts. That was the big key, getting up that big gap and just kind of maintaining the lap times. And just, man, this is so awesome. I love this racetrack, man. The track has changed a lot, and I think it just kind of threw everybody for a curveball. You know, 3 years ago, I guess, we were on these tires, and the track had a lot more grip, and it just that's what we fought a lot, was just forward drive all weekend. So we really had to do some things I never thought we'd do to it at Motor Mile, but it worked really well. Just David West, John West Racing Engines, can't thank him enough. He's spent a lot of time working on this engine this week. And per your tank lines, Rodney Lemons of Wayland Geospatial, I hope he's watching. Mel's Ignition, what can I say, Marcus, Tracy Richmond, RNS Race Cars. What a blessing to be I'm just supported by so many great people. Bradley, Graphics Unlimited, Bobby Gregory Weldon. Gosh, I hope I ain't missing anybody. Ernest Performance, appreciate everybody's help, and what a rocket ship, man. I gotta say hey to my mom and dad. My dad's not here today. Him and Barry and Janet, all my mom and mother-in-law, dad-in-law, everybody's watching at home. Just say hey to everybody. Well, this is awesome, man.
Obviously not the one that you always want, but another one of those sort of championship building runs, the consistency that you need in order to get the late model stock title in the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour. Is that sort of the biggest takeaway that you come away from tonight with?
Yeah, obviously second, and just obviously not getting in trouble is a really good run. I know we have a car capable of winning, which it sucks every week. I feel like I just leave a little bit on the table. Deke was pretty fast there at the end, though. I don't know if I would have had much for him. Maybe a restart. We could have got him. Got side by side with him, maybe choked him down a little. But just from the start, I feel like I had to race the whole time, and I was never able to get some good clean laps in without going 110%. So I'm sure that didn't help me too much, but live and learn and keep building points championship.
Building up the points gap as they head to Tri-County. We'll slide over from Carson and get a word here with Mike Looney, who comes home in third. And Mike, yeah, where does this fall for you, just with the way you look at it? Plenty of speed. It's not the win, but are you happy with the podium, all things considered?
Yeah, yes and no. You ain't never happy with third or second. Second sucks worse than third, but you know, good night for. You know, we've just struggled to finish these Cars Tour races. These guys, it's a hornet's nest from first to last. Just glad, you know, we're thinking ahead about Wednesday. North Wilkesboro's a pretty important race for us, so just tried to race passively, I guess, a little bit. Tried to keep the fenders on. We need this car for Wednesday, so kind of defanged me a little bit, I guess. Had a really good long run car. I feel like if it had went green from about like that lap 80 or so, if it had went green, I think me and Deke would have had a good race for it. But I was just too numb on the restart, so it wouldn't fire off, and I got in the clutches of the 8 and 77. Those guys were they come, you know, they're fighting for a championship. So try to race them respectfully with what all they got going on. But all in all, we'll take it. Disappointed, really, to be honest with you. It's our home track. We're gonna get one of these Cars Tour races one of these days. But tonight wasn't the night. But maybe next Wednesday we'll give it a shot. I want to thank Harrison's USA for all their support. Hopkins Lumber, A1 Heating and Cooling, All Pro Performance Transport, all the folks on this Billy Martin race car. Force Rentals, best chassis in the business. Charlie Long Engines. A lot of folks touch it, and I really appreciate each and every one of them.
I think that says so much about the standard and the expectations here for Mike Looney, that you come to a home track and you expect to be successful, and that third place is almost disappointing, but they want big stuff here. It's home turf for them.